Hi, I'm Chris, N9CBR. Did you know that these days the FCC requires you to know how much RF is coming out of your radio? In this video, we're going to look at an easy way to do that. So as of, I don't know, I'll call it 6 months ago, something like that, the FCC has been asking all amateur radio operators to do what's called an RF exposure calculation. Um, Basically, figure out how close to a transmitting antenna should you be and should others be. So there's, I guess, online calculators, sort of, and things like that out there. Basically it kind of gets a little complicated. However, what I've done is I've made a Excel sheet that I will share, and here it is. Um, Basically, the way this works is I'm going to use the example of my new Yaesu FT5D. So transmitter, I'm just going to type in here Yaesu FT5D. Antenna power, it is a 5-watt radio. Um, I like to leave the ground effect clicked. Now, antenna, you can pick what kind of antenna you're running. I think a quarter wave vertical on a HT is eminently reasonable. Mode, voice FM. Notice there's other options here. CW, a carrier is basically the same thing as FM uh, from a calculation standpoint. Here's sideband, RIDI, FT4, FT8, which, by the way, is the same thing from a calculation standpoint as FM. But anyway, uh, so let's just click FM here. Now, here you got to kind of do some thinking. How long will you transmit? For the sake of things, I'm going to say 1.5 minutes, and then you might listen for 2 minutes, just, going back and forth, talking to somebody on an HT. That's kind of my thinking. And now let's take a look at here's all of the bands, all of the uh, ham bands. And FT5D will do 2 meters. Let's keep scrolling down. And it will also do 70 centimeters. I don't remember what FDMF is. 219. Oh, okay, fair enough. Forgot what band that is. But anyway, so basically you just click any of the bands that will be uh, will be usable on that radio. And notice it'll give you your minimum safe distance for a controlled environment and an uncontrolled environment. Um, so controlled environment basically would be you operating, you know what you're doing, things like that. And then uncontrolled would be any random schmo walking by. And here is, let's see, it has not picked this. For some reason, it defaults to 991A. I don't know why. So let's go Yaesu FT5D. Sure hope it's not putting out 100 watts. Let's just, all this stuff is not a G5RV. It is a quarter wave vertical. FM. What did we say? 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes. And here, oops, let me not scroll in weird ways. It spits out a chart that basically tells you I would personally lean toward um, just use the bigger number here, um, especially when it comes to having other people um, approach your transmitter. So at two, or sorry, at 2 meters, you probably want other people 2.5 feet away. Hey, you know what? If they're getting any closer than that, I'm kind of going to be looking at them funny because I got my personal space. Same thing here, 2 feet, maybe a little less for 70 centimeters. So now you got a good idea of how far people should be from your antenna when you're transmitting. A couple things you can do. You can save this, and then here you see I have several radios saved. I'm going to just open this one up because it's interesting for multiple bands. See, you get a nice little curve here, so you can kind of read off which frequency you want to be at, which band you're going to be transmitting on, and how far from uh, from the antenna people should be. Notice that 100 watts here, the absolute maximum is probably 8-9 feet. Might not be a bad idea to bring some sort of little um, oh, I don't know, little posts and tape or something, and mark that off. Or if you're using vertical with ground radials, might not be a bad idea to mark those radials and just say, hey, usually they're about 15 feet long or something. Just don't go inside them, partially so you don't step in them, partially for the RF exposure, all of that. Other thing you can do, so like I said, I have these just sitting on, this is my laptop I usually use for ham radio stuff. Or you can, if you have a fixed station, for example, this is actually FT 1500M, sorry, but I'm using that for an APRS station. I just printed it off and put it next to the radio. That way, if the FCC ever comes knocking and asking, hey, how much RF are you producing? Here's a piece of paper that tells you, sir. End of story. So I'm going to make this calculator available if you'd like to do the same. Again, this is, as of about 6 months ago, an FCC requirement. Feel free to use this calculator. But when you do, I would make sure that you go through these sources here, um, and understand what is going on, how I'm calculating this, and don't just take my word for it. So hopefully this is helpful. If you want more, feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you do, make sure to hit the notification bell as well. Any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And we'll see you on the next video. 73.